Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's a Netflix series, Lockwood Co. or Lockwood and Company. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you feel lucky or you feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below. And it's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages as well. All right. So I said spoiler-free version to begin with. Sorry, I keep looking over at the dog. That's why I'm she was doing some weird stuff there. So Lockwood and Company is basically based on some books that were written, um, and it is set in a world that uh, modern day world, if you will, 2023. But for the last 50 years in London, there has been something called the problem, which has basically there's ghosts, spirits, if you will. And if they touch someone, they kill them. Um, so that's a big problem there. And adults are actually there's a curfew because ghosts come out mostly during night. When the sun comes up, of course, they dissipate. But there's a curfew for adults because children 18 and under manifest. They can actually see them. They can also hear them, and they're the ones that actually go out to fight these ghosts to protect people from them. So there are things called agencies that have come about where basically they're peopled by children in order to fight these ghosts. So who we're following around is one such hunter called Lucy and Lucy Carlisle. And so we see this world through her eyes, is what this whole series is about. Now, you're probably thinking at this point, this sounds like the setups of a YA novel. That's pretty much what it is. It's a young adult's novel, if you will. And that's pretty much how this series plays out. It brings up some interesting world building or world, a world that they've set up, but it's for lack of a better term, it's very, very YA. And so while you have stakes that are involved in all of this, there are also you never really get a chance. You never get a really a feeling that any of your main protagonists or your main characters are in danger or any danger. Um, so that's kind of how it feels. It feels, if you will, more or less Scooby Doo-ish. If that's the only thing I can unliken it to is Scooby Doo-ish, granted with a little more horrifying aspects, if you will. And um, yeah, I was, I'm kind of on the fence about this. I keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, which means it's really probably not worth your time. It's good, but it's not that good. It's one of those things that you'll put on, you could probably watch it in the background. You won't miss too much of things. I mean, there is one main storyline that, that kind of gets lost, I guess you can say, and all the other storylines that are going on in this series. And it of course leads up to an inevitable, they want a season 2 off of this, obviously. So you do have kind of a almost a cliffhanger, if you will. And the real problem of how the ghost came about is not solved or explained, or even it's mentioned, but not really brought to the forefront. So yeah, I can't really recommend this unless you are, I guess, a fan of the books, or yeah, it's kind of there. Um, I actually had to refresh my memory on what was going on with this series and after only a week of watching it. So I mean, obviously it didn't stick all that well into my head. Um, And yeah, CBM says, "I enjoyed it well enough. It was fun, but very YA." Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna say, yes, it's not worth your time on this, is what I'm going into here. So, with that said, with the non-spoiler version out of the way, we're gonna go to some spoilers here. So, spoiler alert, I am gonna spoil the rest of the series, season 1 anyway. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it, come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. All right, give you enough time to pause, whatever you need to do. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the characters are likable enough. I mean, Lucy, of course, they get you with the whole she's basically sold by her mom to an agency in order to make money for the family, kind of thing. And she takes off from that, goes to London. This is after, of course, her whole squad in this small little suburb ends up getting um, ghost locked, if you will. So they, well, killed and ghost locked. So, and of course, she's found guilty of this rather than the guy who owns the company. And so, of course, she runs off to London, joins this little tiny group of, well, it's just Lockwood and his friend, or Lockwood and another guy. And that's it. They are the three that make up this agency, and they're basically holding on by a thread, if you will. And even that, um, having this agency Deeproc, uh, who's running things, and I don't know if I. So there's another like big agency out there called Fitz Agency, which is run by Penelope Fitz, and her sister Marissa is the one who actually came up with the classification of ghosts. You have class 1, class 2, and class 3. Class 3 being the most dangerous. Um, and I don't know if the Fitz agency actually runs Deeproc or what. We weren't really. It's kind of messy in that regard. You kind of get a hint that they are, but then kind of a hint that they aren't, and that they might be involved with how the problem started. We don't really know offhand on all of this. Um, the main story regarding the bone glass, which was created by Edmund Bickerstaff, um, back about 100 years ago. So we get the problem might have actually started 100 years ago rather than just 50 years ago. And actually, that the bone glass is the reason why all this started. Or maybe something else has started it. CBM says they never really explain exactly what ghost locking is. Seems like a ghost-induced catatonia, but I guess that's what the mystery of this of that is. Yeah, exactly. They never really explain a lot of things, which I understand that if you are the characters, you don't know what it is either because it's not explained. But at the same time, um, we as the audience, if you want us to get hooked into or demand another season of this, you can't just have vagaries going on and all of this. You need to lock something down. And I understand they did a whole bunch of uh, stories that were done from the books, like the Screaming Staircase and the Whispering Skull and things like that, that added into this series or into this first season. But they needed to pick one and really kind of go for it and focus in on it. It didn't feel focused. It felt like it was all over the place. And again, you don't have you had some nice world building to begin with, and then it just kind of falls apart when you're going into all these different stories. So that's the thing that kind of threw me off on it. I guess you could say. Excuse me. I guess you could say. And then of course you have a character who doesn't even have a name. He's called the Golden Blade because he wields a golden blade. And I was like, that's a fucking dumb name. But anyway, um, yeah, and you don't know, he doesn't work for the Fitz agency. He doesn't work for Deeproc. Who does he work for? Then you have something called the Relic Men, who basically run around at night stealing relics, if you will. And I'm guessing the relics are things having to do with supernatural entities like the bone glass. And the bone glass, of course, that whole bone glass mystery was more of a way of trapping souls than it was of something that actually started the problem. But we think that Edmund Bickerstaff might have been the start of all of this. We don't know for sure on all of this because again, the first season wasn't focused enough on what was going on. So that is, yeah. Although there's a harp symbol that is etched on a couple of things that are leading us to, I guess, a bigger story, but that isn't even followed either. Just kind of put as an aside, you know. So again, like I said, there is no focus on the main issue, rather than leading us off on these little side quests, side stories. CBM says also doesn't make much sense because gold is a bad metal for weaponry, and I'm not sure it's even good for ghosts. Yeah, exactly. I thought there was supposed to be iron, that you needed iron on the sword or your chains or whatever in order to um, break up a ghost, whatnot. So I don't know. That's the other thing too, is we didn't have really a breakdown of what actually disrupts a ghost. That was the one thing that could have, they could have actually spent like a little montage and do like a 5-minute montage of what breaks down a ghost, kind of like you're doing your training exercises. Yes, I understand they did it at the very beginning with Lucy and her friend who ends up getting ghost locked, as what to watch out for, but not really in detail. They really didn't. It was kind of a precursory glance, like don't let a ghost touch you, and all that kind of stuff. That was really about it. It wasn't very well done in that respect. So, do I see this thing getting a second season? The way Netflix is right now, probably not. Although who knows, things have surprised me, lately with the way streaming services have gone, where you get some stuff that actually gets, seasons 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of thing, and other things that are actually good, get the shaft after one season, like Reboot. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where this goes. Honestly, I don't see it getting a second season, but I could be wrong. Then you also have, of course, the love interest going on between Lockwood and Lucy, and will they, won't they, will they, won't they, and it's a teenage kind of love thing, and yeah, it just doesn't really do. It's kind of, it's been done before, and it's kind of tired, and this one especially is really tired. There really isn't a lot of chemistry between the two actors, Ruby Stokes and Cameron Chapman. I know they tried to force it, but it wasn't working. It just wasn't working for me anyway. I didn't see it happening. Um, yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah, not worth your time. Um, I wish it was, but no, it's not. So there you have it. Well, with that said, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow it's President's Day here in the United States, so I'm going to be off. So I'm going to do a twofer. It's going to be an earlier ones, I should say. The Last of Us. I'm going to do that probably around like 10:30 ish. You can take a look at the schedule on that. I'll put it up there. And then I'm going to do another Is It Worth My Time? And it's going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania, which of course came out this weekend. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. Tuesday, I'm going to be off. Wednesday is going to be the Bad Batch. Thursday, I'm going to be off as well. And let me see what else I have set up here, because honestly, I can't remember what's going on half the time here. Um, oh, that's right. And oh no, actually, that's not until the following week. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. So there's not a lot happening this week. Next week is when things start happening. So this week might be a little sparse on things. CBM says the romantic stuff between them was the least interesting. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, CBM. So take a look at the schedule at suspendedfanimation.com. I'm going to be updating that probably tonight when I'm done here. But then you'll see where everything is at there. So I'm gonna let you guys go. This is gonna be a short one. Thanks everyone who joined me tonight in the chat. I saw some lurkers up there too, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when are we on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get caught out after dark, and you never know when there's going to be some type 3s running around, and no one really cares because, it wasn't all that well done to begin with. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. It doesn't work without the boosters. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks, everyone. Good night.